Hi, Estes Park Bobcats. Now that you have your iPad, your email login, and your lunch code, you are ready for Schoology. I'm Mrs. Beaver, and since I am Schoology's #1 fan, I was pumped when I was asked to create this video for you. Schoology is a learning management system, or LMS for short. Why do you need a learning management system? So you won't end up like this guy, bewildered and overwhelmed by homework and due dates. At the end of each school year, I ask my students 3 questions. What did you do this year that helped you succeed? What did you wish you would have done better? And what kind of advice would you give students who are coming in next year? The answers are always the same. They always have something to do with getting work turned in on time. This advice from Annalise pretty much sums it up. My advice is to never get behind. When you get behind in a class, you are bound to have more assignments, so you can't work on the one you're behind in. So get your work done. The truth is, you never really have too much work to do unless you let it pile up. And that's where Schoology comes in. If you use Schoology well, you won't get buried in your due dates. Think of it as your little assistant to help you make sure your work doesn't pile up. So here's the learning target for this video. I can log in to my Schoology account independently. Once you're logged in, the magic will happen. So let's get started. First thing you're going to need to do to log into your Schoology account is to find your school. Now, after you've done that several times, you probably won't have to do that anymore because your iPad will remember what school you're coming from. But here's how you find your school. It's pretty easy. Just start typing in Estes, E-S-T-E-S. And that will bring up a list of schools, and usually the top one is going to be Estes Park School District. If it isn't, then just keep typing. Give yourself a space and P for park and so on. And then finally, go ahead and just select it from the list. The next thing you're going to need to do is enter your email address. Now, your email address, at the beginning of the year, you're going to have trouble probably remembering what it is, but eventually you'll get the hang of it. Everyone has kind of the same pattern in their email. The first part of it is the first 5 letters of their last name. Now, if you don't have 5 letters in your last name, then it's your whole last name. The next part of it is your first and middle initial. If you don't have a middle name, it'll be just your first initial. And then finally, the last part is the same for all of us. So if you get stuck, ask somebody else because they know the end of it too. So the last part is at PSDR3, which stands for Park School District Rule 3. K12, which is our school, begins at kindergarten and ends at 12th grade. It's in Colorado, so it's .co, and it's in the United States, .us. So at psdr3.k12.co.us. You'll have it memorized pretty quickly. Now, once you've gotten that in, it's going to remember that you did that before. So in future times, you'll just be able to go ahead and select your email address. So that's helpful. Now, once you've selected your email address, it might ask you for your password, or your iPad eventually will remember it. Your password is easy too because it's your 5-digit lunch code plus PSD. So whatever code you punch in to get your lunch, and it should be the same as it was last year, you go ahead and memorize that, and you add PSD to the end of it, and you've got your password. Finally, once you've done that, you're in. So you just let the magic happen. And we will look at that some more on our next video. But for now, have you met the learning target? Why don't you go ahead and try logging in and see if you can do it independently. If not, you can always look back at the video. And finally, the next video is about finding assignments. So once you're in, then you get to do some really cool stuff to help you not get behind in your work.